Some things that happened was not really my father who did anything to me. It was more that he didn't help stop anything that did happen to me. Like how his girlfriend would have us sit on the couch all day, and I would sit there and need to use the bathroom, and she wouldn't let me go because it would make noise. And at that time, my little sister Andrea was born, and she was just a baby, so any kind of noise would wake her up. And she would sometimes starve us, and there was just like a whole bunch of things that she would do. And since my little brother Elijah was very hyper as a toddler, she would isolate him in a corner and not allow us to give him food or like even talk to him, and if we did, we would get in trouble.
With abuse and just child endangerment overall, so there's physical abuse, which is the most common thing that we think of when we come to abuse victims. There's also sexual assault. There is also emotional abuse, which is more name-calling, kind of put-downs. And then there's also coercive control. So that's dealing with, being able to control somebody just through your tone or your voice, and not normal parenting.
And when my mom told me about this activity league, I was kind of interested in it, but I also was like not sure if I should go or not. But when I came, I started to really like it here.
Our PAL program is part of a national program, so we're the Riverside County Police Activities League. We operate throughout the whole county, and really what it is a mentorship program for local youth to get involved with local law enforcement, to teach them that law enforcement doesn't just show up when something bad happens, that they're actually here regardless, to mentor, to prevent activities from happening and be a good listening ear when they need one. And then Girl Circle is one of our branches of our Police Activities League. We break the teens up by gender identity, and so the girls hang out with the high school and middle school girls, and the boys hang out in our Boys Council program with their peers. Girl Circle is really designed to teach empowerment, to teach self-confidence, to teach engagement, and to teach positive friendships, relationships, and the skills they need to interact with people through mentorship and through youth-led activities.
When I first came here, I was very shy, but then I was very like a social butterfly. Girl Circle is very fun. I was able to socialize with the other girls, and we were able to just like talk to each other and have fun. Sometimes we didn't even talk about the subject that we were supposed to be talking about. We just talked about a whole bunch of random things, but it was still fun, and we got to decorate journals and do so many fun activities.
So I think the best part about being able to deal with kids and our youth at risk is just the resilience that they show. So being able to see a kid like Melanie grow and be able to say, like, you came in and you were really shy and you didn't want to be here, or you didn't want to participate, and now you're leading group activities, or you're leading your discussions with the community, and being able to show that, they had those skills the whole time. It's just somebody had to believe in them for them to want to show them off.
For other kids that are in my situation, I would recommend going to an adult to see if they could help you like in any sort of way, emotionally or mentally. And if that's not really helpful, you should definitely come over here at PAL. They are very supportive and try and help you find solutions to your problems.
The first time that Emily ever came to us, she was pregnant. She was in extreme distress. She had just got out of the hospital because she said she was in a domestic violence situation in a home that she was staying in and couldn't go back.
I grew up in a dysfunctional housing situation with my mom and my dad. It was just really difficult from day one because both parents in the home didn't work, so they had got in a way divorced. So grew up just very confused on their relationship. At age 8, I actually was dealing with men that were coming and going in and out of me and my mom's apartment. She was dating them. And what happened was the men had started to fondle me and molest me while I was living with my mother in her own home. My mother had decided to move back with my father. I brought up to my father about the molestation that was happening in the home with my mother. We started talking about it. I'm seeking comfort and protection, and he's, telling me on what to do. That day, that's when he ended up molesting me. I just kind of went blank and was like, well, I went to seek your protection and your help, but now this had happened to me by my father. This lasted for almost 3 years until I decided to tell my best friend, took action and helped me to say, hey, this is not okay. This is not okay. You need to speak up. It was actually my best friend's mother who reached out to me, and I thank her and love her so much, and my best friend Jasmine. I mean, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have said anything. I jumped into a relationship while I was in foster care, and that boyfriend was very insecure. He had a lot of medical issues. I was 16 at that time, already in foster care. I started to sleep with him. The next relationship was my son's father, my 8-year-old's father. I went into that relationship when I was 19, and he was a lot older, but that was yet again another very abusive relationship. And I ended up, conceiving, having gotten pregnant within 2 months of being with him. So the next following relationship, the current one that I was recently in, I was seeking yet again a family unit. We rushed into this relationship. I feel like he was very insecure. He struggled with addiction as well. He struggled throughout his childhood with abuse. It was very easy to be with him and be connected to someone who was yelling at me and calling me names, and every day. There was just so much arguing and him putting his hands on me, to the point to where I started to lose myself in my identity, to thinking this is normal. I ended up calling the police, pressing charges on her. Ended up going to be rushed to the hospital because they said, well, we don't know if your daughter's okay. I ended up leaving, and they gave me a flyer, and the flyer was Safe Family Justice Center. So I walk into Safe Family Justice Center.
We completed a needs assessment plan and a safety assessment to determine what the needs were for her. What it sounded like, based on what she was telling us, is because of her situation, she was homeless and she was fleeing, so she had nowhere to go at that moment in time. I decided to put her in a hotel for the long weekend until we can come back on that following Tuesday to reassess her situation and come up with a case management plan for her.
So she ended up calling me back and letting me know that she can put me in a home called Allie's House. So my 2 older kids were taken while I was still pregnant with my daughter. I ended up calling back, Nicole, and I told her, I said, my kids got taken. I don't understand. I ended up giving birth to my daughter. She ended up getting taken the second day in the hospital. That devastated me.
The process of getting the kids back was extremely hard. Going through the system, it's a process. My job as her advocate was to connect all of those dots, to be that liaison and help guide her through that system so she can understand what was going on. I knew that in order for her to get her kids back, she needed to have these items for her children. So I decided to get together with some of the volunteers at the Safe Family Justice Centers and throw a baby shower for her.
Nicole set this whole thing up, blessed me with a whole bunch of baby girl items. My life now as a single parent, that is something that gave me a lot of hope and brought a lot of change to my life. They gave me an opportunity to be a part of something and be supported.